Welcome to another episode of the Sipping and Tripping podcast, where we connect with amazing people. Today's conversation is all about love and relationships. I am your host, Desmond Black, and the person that's sipping and tripping with me today is the founder of Kenya's Keepsake LLC, which is a self discovery and relationship coaching brand helping people unlearn unhealthy patterns, relearn emotional intelligence, and thrive in love and life. She's appeared in several magazines for her thought provoking work around emotional wellness and relationships. She is none other than Miss Kenya Metoyer. Did I say your last name right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But absolutely not. But all my life I had to fight. It's fine.
How do you say it?
It's Metoyer.
Metoyer? Oh, nah. See,
I
it need to be
know.
I or something.
I know everybody. So when I sometimes I have to do the phonetics, or you know what, just I'm your girl Kenya. That's it. But it's Metoyer. But all my life.
And it's crazy. I almost just said Miss Toya, but then I was like, maybe I should ask her. But I was like, the way it's spelled should be easy. But nope, nope, nope. I see
Mm-mm.
I botched it.
Not at
It is all good.
all. Yes,
Well,
it's all right.
how are you doing today, and how was your week so far?
I am doing all right. The week was up and down, but I take every day one day at a time, which is crazy because I never used to do that. I was never the one day at a time girl. But once you hit adulthood and you hit a certain plateau in your life, you like, oh, one day at a
Right.
time. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
been good though.
That's good. That's good. And I agree with you, man. When you're young, it's like the world's moving fast, your mind's moving
Mm-hmm.
fast, and it's like when you're younger, you live carefree, and then when you're older,
Yes.
it's settled down time. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I got this to focus on. I have this priority. I have and it's and don't get me started. Once you have kids, it's you know what I'm
Oh,
saying. That's a whole different
absolutely.
ball game.
It's
Like I
over.
argue with my kids sometimes. I'm like, listen, you guys always got your hand out. You always want something, but what about what I want? And I'm like, I
Mm.
understand that you guys are a priority and you guys are a blessing, but at the same time, I'm that blessing that if it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be no you. So work with me here.
It's crazy you say that. Okay, I know this probably off your script, but this is what I do. I go off script. I
No,
mean,
no,
but
it's
since we on the kids, right? How old are your
yeah.
children?
11, 5, 2, and 1.
Okay, see, you still have the babies. It's crazy because my daughter is 22, right?
Mm,
And
right,
I've never been the you're the priority type mom, and I'm gonna tell you why though. So even it's funny on some of her birthdays, I'll be like, "Happy birthday to me," because I did that on that day too, right?
I like that. I like
Um,
that.
but also too, I think that it keeps you grounded as a human being and not just in
Right,
parent mode because a lot of parents do allow that to become their identity. And even
right,
when I started Kenya's Keepsake in 2016, because I've been doing it for that long, yeah, I always caught how people, when you are in certain spaces and they say, tell me about yourself, a lot of people, and think about it, a lot of people will start with, I'm a mother of so and so, or I have so many kids. And it's just like, I used to sit back and think, that's not who you are, though. I never, when anyone asks me, like, tell me about yourself, or when I'm in spaces, I'm never like, well, I have a 22. That is never the first thing out of my mouth because a lot of people do make that their identity. Now, along the lines, you'll know that I have a daughter. And if you know, you know, but I'm never going to put that into my bio or anything like
mm,
that because it takes away from the identity. Again, not saying, I mean, my daughter and I are very, very close, but I think it is because I raised her on a mutual platform. Like, hey, we're equally important here, right? I am,
I like
because
that.
if I am not okay, you are not okay. And I'm
Right,
not, there's no way. A lot of parents pretend, and this is not the discussion isn't a parental discussion, but a lot of parents again lose themselves in that identity. And it's like you raise your child like, oh, it's you, but then at a certain point when your child gets older, and I'm not even going to say 18, because let me tell you, my daughter and I are very close. And we used to watch shows together, spend a lot of quality time. But when she got a certain age and boys came into it, oh, she was watching the shows with them. I would be like, you ready to watch this? She'd be like, oh, me and so watch that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I think a lot of
Right.
people, parents lose that too. Like, listen, once that child hit a certain age and plateau in their life, you won't be nothing. And you're going to be sitting back there like, what do I do now? So I think it's just equally important to, like, teach your children to prioritize you as much as you prioritize them. So I don't know
No,
how we got on that topic, but
it's all good. I actually like that. I like that a lot because I was just arguing with. So I don't want to say arguing, but I was just going back
uh-huh.
and forth with somebody about that the other day, because I was on the phone and I was like, "Oh my God, these damn kids!" And he was like, "Hold up now." And I was like, hold up, what? And I'm like, listen, I can never seem to do anything that I enjoy that I want. And they said, well, them days is over. I'm like, listen, hold up. I got a 1 year old.
Mm-mm.
And you ain't gonna tell me for the next 18,
Mm-mm.
you lost your mind. I'm not gonna look
Mm-mm.
up one day and say, what did I do with myself? What did I do with my life? I am not gonna be
Right.
one of them people. That's why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of old people be ornery because of stuff like that,
Yes.
always
Mm-hmm.
putting out, and never getting. Like, no, this is a quid pro
Yes.
quo type of thing. You want, you got to give on both
Yes.
ends. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to work. It's
Absolutely.
supposed to be a team. You have kids, it's a team.
Mm-hmm.
Parent to son, parent to daughter, daughter to mother, daughter to father. And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I can't stand when people try to tell me,
Mm-mm.
well, so what, you want to do this? Nope, that ain't
Mm-mm.
me. You live your life like
No.
that, and that's the way you parent, not me. But
Exactly. And look, at this age, I run my daughter just as low. All right. Like, I run my daughter just as low. So, sometimes the roles verse, I'm not gonna say she parent me or anything like that, but sometimes I do get the best grounding, the best advice, the best guidance from my own child. And then that's when you can be like, I raised that right there. That's when you can be
hmm
like, oh, okay, because again, if you're not okay, your children won't be okay. So you have to make sure that both of you
right.
guys are on top.
And you know what? The crazy thing is, the same goes for the other way around, right? If you're a good parent,
Mm-hmm.
if you're an active parent, if your kids ain't all right, then you're not going to be all right because that's because you
Yes.
care, right? That shows
Yes.
that you have that connection with your kids. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that you said that. That's excellent. So, all
Yeah.
right. So on this platform, I like to conversate, educate, and entertain. And so
Yeah.
far, it's been entertaining. So, I have no doubt that we're gonna make it do what it do.
Of course. Of
Um,
course.
so you're a part of several programs. Can you tell us a little bit about what the crash out coach is?
Yes, actually, that is my program that I created because I mentor children.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, crashing out is this big thing. And I don't know where it came from. So if your girl. I'm very big on being disgusted by overused, underused phrases, words, especially when they're misdefined, don't know how to be defined, and all that other kind of stuff. And so all of a sudden, these kids think they're crashing out. Oh my gosh, they're crashing out. When I'm gonna be honest, they're just weak. This generation is so weak because they don't know what crashing out really is. That at
Right.
all. They feel like, because they want to spaz. Like, no, that's not crashing out. Until somebody that is really crashing out in front of them, then they don't know what to do. And so, what the crash out coach is that I mentor children on how to master conflict resolution. My signature topic, my umbrella is mastering conflict resolution. But of course, I have to break it down between age groups, generation, platforms, and things like that. So I do mastering conflict resolution for adults, corporations, organizations. But for the kids, it's the crash out coach portion of it because that's their language. And I think a lot of people don't understand that too. When you're dealing with children, you have to speak their language. So as much as I cannot stand crashing out and clocking it and all that other kind of stuff. You have to be able to relate as a youth mentor and to relate with the kids. So the Crash Out Coach is the program that teaches them how to manage their emotions and also how to take on conflict, because conflict doesn't always, it is not always a bad thing. We're in conflict all of the time. We can be in a simple conflict with what we're wearing in the morning. Like, that's a conflict. Like, I don't know what's going on. But people take conflict and just go overboard with it, thinking that we have to argue, we have to fight. Oh my goodness, we have to compete. And that's not what that
Right.
is. So with the kids, I'm the Crash Out Coach, and they absolutely love it, because my saying with the kids, and they know it all the time, is crashing out is not cute. Because it is not. So we need to really manage our emotions when we're children, and that's where the foundation starts too.
Okay, I like that. I like that. And it's another program that you're a part of, correct?
Which one?
And
Which
what's
one are you referring to? Because again, it's
Hey,
so.
tell us about it. Tell us about it. This is your moment.
It's so, look, I do so many things, but again, it's under. So overall, I help individuals unlearn and relearn relationship skills through healing, self-discovery, and self-reflection, as you mentioned before. And again, what that is that the generations move, we have to adapt. A lot of people don't want to adapt. All they want to do is talk about what they think happened in the past. You hear so many people, oh, back in the day, or the last generation, or the modern and traditional X, Y, and Z. It's like, you were not there. You don't really know what happened. And that happens at the time with the resources that they had, and it worked for them, or it may not have worked for them. We have to adapt here. So, again, the Crash Out Coach is for the children. And then mastering conflict resolution, that's just for everybody. I also do, I'm in sunny California, Los Angeles area. So every month I do a monthly battle of perspective mixer, because it's not about battle of sexes. We're going to take gender
Hmm.
off the table, because that's the problem with us. We want to pin each other against each other, and it has nothing to do with what we have going on down here. All right, it's about the mindset, it's about the perspective. So it's a really battle of perspectives there. And I do Fellas Fridays, because I am very, 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 oh, I like I have a thing for my fellas, because my fellas, you
Hmm.
guys feel that you are unheard, unseen, that you can't talk, you can't be vulnerable. You guys feel like you can't do anything, right? But
Right.
sit there and just do whatever who society or who your or whatever it is you guys have to do. So I make every Friday just for you guys, whether it's me giving you teaching moments. I hold open calls just for my fellas on Fridays, for you guys to just talk and vent and do whatever you have to do. I post only tips for my fellas on Fridays, because again, mentally, emotionally, and even physically, you guys are important, and you guys need to understand that, no matter what society tells you guys, no matter what your exes or any females ever told you guys in the past, you guys need to understand that you guys need to be heard. What else do I have going on? My podcast. Well, speaking of my fellas, so I have my podcast, which is the Keepsake Corner, and that is specifically for men. I only interview my fellas in the Keepsake Corner for that reason. I want you guys to feel to talk uninterrupted. No matter what. I mean, I'll give you the dialogue as well, but I don't correct you. I don't interrupt you. I don't do nothing. That hour is just for you guys, for your perspective and enlightenment, and where no woman can interrupt you guys with the oh no, I don't want y'all to be interrupted at all. So
Right. I love
um
that.
I think that's about it. That's probably the short list, but there we
No, it's a good list. That's shit. I like that. All about the fellas and the mental and
Yes.
all that, the emotions. Hey, that's good. We need a lot of that. When I say we, I
Hmm.
mean, people of color, we need a lot of that. That's one thing that's missing from
Yes.
our community. Um, it's almost like we're afraid to reach out. And it's not so much the
Mhm.
women. It's because women gossip anyways. Women stick together, they
Mhm.
band together. It's
Mhm.
the men. Us men, we do not get come together and
Mhm.
form that kind of bond where it's a safe space where we can just have an open dialogue about whatever. And that's
Right.
one thing that's important, right? Like it's like a lot of black men, right, won't do therapy. I said that so
Right.
many times. We always make a lot of excuses about therapy, and then when they
Mhm.
see another brother that attends therapy, they look at them
Yes.
like they Bigfoot, like they strange or something ain't right.
Right.
But
Mm.
I'm gonna say this, like I said plenty of times before, therapy is good, right? It's
Yes.
fundamental. I get a lot out of therapy. The only thing is I don't do therapy as much as I want to because it's costly, right?
Right.
And but like one thing I don't like doing because the way I work is like, oh, I'm having a down moment. And I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna do this therapy, but I want to be able to do it where I do it at least once a week. That's what I would like,
Mhm. Mhm.
as opposed to like once a month, maybe twice a month,
Mhm.
like once a week. I feel like once a week is should be doable because you need to be able to reflect and talk about things on a weekly basis. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you could
Yes.
just like, oh, this week was about this, or I felt this. This is what my mindset was, and then
Mhm.
you move on. You come up with like an action plan, and then you move on to the next week. That's what I think. So a lot of times, like I said, I'm in some shit now. I want to consult with a therapist because I'm already in some shit. I want to talk to a
Right.
therapist before I'm in that shit.
So let me give you
So.
my spiel on therapy. All right, follow me, y'all. Y'all follow me. Pick up what I'm laying down, okay? Because this really boils my keepsake grits. All right, so here we go about therapy. I am all about therapy, right? Here's the thing. I know some great therapists. I lie. Some of my friends are great therapists. But the problem with therapy is nowadays, because like you said, therapy used to be taboo. Nobody wanted to go and all that other kind of stuff. The problem with therapy now is a lot of people see it as a flex, right? Like you're
Mm,
saying, a lot of people think that, I go to therapy. I go to therapy. Like, oh, let me call my therapist. Like you said, I'm missing ish. Oh, I gotta call my therapy. But people aren't really practicing what therapy is really supposed to be about, the foundation. And because now mental health is growing and getting bigger, which is great. Like, I love that people are starting to take mental health very seriously because it's a big thing and it's a real
right.
thing. But don't use it as a flex. There's no reason why you should just say that you go to therapy, but then you're not growing from it. You are not practicing whatever it is. And also, therapy doesn't necessarily give you tools for reflection and healing and all of that. For the most part, and I'm only saying for the most part, therapy is more about active listening and someone being there to give you, feedback or whatever the case may be. There are good therapists out there. But this is the reason why I am a coach as opposed to therapy. So just like in any sports, your coach is there to coach you through that game of football, basketball, whatever, so that you can get better at your craft. I'm a relationship coach, and it's not just for intimate relationships. I deal with all type of relationships: co-workers, family, parental relationships, cousins. But yes, the majority is that intimate relationship. But for me, I do not generalize it. A lot of therapy and a lot of therapists is words that you probably don't even know. They're going to tell you that this is what it is, and you're going to use these big words and letters that you don't know what you're talking about. That's not what your girl does. Okay, we are going to dissect where the root is, and it's not even also about tell me about your life. What happened? What did your mama do when you was 10? You got to go back. No, 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 no. Forget all of that, okay? Because we need to know what is going on with you right now. Peel back the layers, and I gamify everything. We're not just gonna sit on nobody's couch. We're not gonna do this and nothing like that. You're gonna get homework. You're gonna get assignments. You're gonna get some reflection
Mm,
prompts. I'm going to follow up with you. You are definitely going to follow up with me. And
right.
this is what we do because I am going to be on you. Because again, isn't that what a coach do? That's what a
Yep.
coach does when you're in sports or anything else. Because it's not just that. I don't know one football coach that sits there and just look at the quarterback and be like, "Oh, what? That's what you were going through on the field." Okay, no. Okay, a coach is going to give you play by play on what you need to do to be better at whatever you have going on and help you through that healing process. And again, self-discovery. So when I say I help you unlearn everything that you learned from your household, your environment, whoever your peers around you back when you were 7 might not apply anymore because now we have more resources. We have more things going on, and you have to understand how to adapt to other people. You know what a lot of people do, Desmond, now when it comes to therapy, they try to find what the other people are doing to them. They're trying to find the problem of, so you know what? You're right. My mom did screw me over. Oh my God. My ex did do that to me. You know what? They find out what the other people did to them to contribute to how they're acting. That's not what we're going to do. It's about your self discovery, your self reflection, and what you can do to maneuver to make yourself a better you
Better.
and to grow
Mm,
daily. Because
right.
that individual is that individual. You are not responsible for that individual. So you should not try to change that individual. You should not go back to that individual and say, you did this, you did that. That is that person. Because guess what? When that person is removed from your life, whether you dismiss them or they fall off or they don't want to talk to you no more, that is on them to take their lives and do whatever they got to do with them. And you're still here. You can't continue to blame everybody else for what you were going through. You understand
Right.
that? So that's my little piece on therapy. But shout out to everybody that is taking the step to recognize that they need some type of guidance, some type of help, or some type of coaching. But if you're going to go to therapy, do not use it as a flex. And therapy also does not work if you're lying to your therapist.
That's
I'm just
true.
gonna go there and say that it's just not
Yeah,
gonna work.
that,
You
that
can't do that.
that's hustling backwards right there. Or because going to therapy should be about healing, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
can't heal if you're not honest with yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not
Mm-hmm.
honest with the therapist cannot guide you
Mm-mm.
or direct you to perfection if they don't know the full story, or if they only
Exactly.
healing part of you, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we can't half ass anything. We can't half step.
Mm-mm.
So it's either we're gonna heal fully or we ain't gonna heal at all,
Right. One of
right?
my
And
mottos
that's how I look at
is
it.
I say all the time, I don't ever half ass anything. I put my whole ass in it. There is no way. Like I just have to. There is just no half ass in it. Just
It's,
you have to.
like it's and I often tell people like whatever you do in life, give it your all, right? Because if it's something in life you don't give your all, you shouldn't do it at all. Right. And and
Exactly.
and and that's just my mindset on things. Like I said plenty of times in this podcast, like I tell my kids, if you just tying your shoe and just having your mind, I'm gonna be the best shoe tire in the world. Because as long
Mm-hmm.
as you take that approach in life, you'll be better off. And
Yes.
you'll prosper like that, because you're conditioning yourself to be perfect. Even though there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
perfect in life, you're
Right.
conditioning yourself to have that kind of mindset. Right. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's functioning at a high frequency, at a high level. Like once you get there, it's like you can't be broken. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
that can break you is yourself. And that goes
Yes.
back to being honest with yourself. So
Mm-hmm. Yes.
you spoke a little bit about your podcast, right? What's the name of your podcast?
The keepsake corner.
The Keepsake Corner. And where can we find it?
On YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. A new episode drops every single Saturday. And it's for
Uh-huh.
my fellas. Like I'm just interviewing all my fellas.
So Fridays and Saturdays for the fellas? You said
Yes.
Fridays. Oh, okay.
Hmm. Well, the whole Fridays is dedicated just for the fellas, but the podcast drops on Saturdays.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so where were you born and where did you grow up?
Oh my goodness. I'm a West Side girl. West Side, West Coast, wherever it is, Los Angeles, California, born and raised out here. I absolutely love it. I love to travel, but there has never been a place that I've been to that says, you know what? I want to move here. I'm about to leave California. Absolutely not. I will travel, 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 and love it, but I am always coming back home.
I got you. You know, it's crazy because people tell me that about Jersey. I lived most of my life in Jersey. I was born in Jersey, but
Hmm.
I've lived in two other states. I've been to other states, but I always found my way back to Jersey. And just this past Sunday at my son's football game, one of the parents
Hmm.
said, if you was down south, you know, why would you come out to Jersey? I'm like, listen, it's always gonna be my state. I was born here, right?
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
don't know. I always say that. Like I was born here. This is always gonna be home. You know. Uh, so you know that's that. But I do like to travel. I do plan on
Yes.
traveling more. I know next year I'm about to pick back up, and I know one of the
Yes.
states I'm going to next year is Tennessee. So not the speed time because then that's gonna
Oh.
age me. Oh, you don't like Tennessee?
What, Memphis? Are we talking Memphis?
Well, no, I wasn't going to go to Memphis.
Okay.
I know everybody. I
It,
know everybody go to Memphis. I'm actually going to
child.
Chattanooga.
Okay, cool. I said I'm never going back to Memphis ever, 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 ever. I have
Uh
cousins that live in Memphis, and I went for the first time to go celebrate with one of my cousins. And as soon as I touched there, I wanted to turn around and go back on the plane. Said, "Take me back home." And it
That's
was just
wild.
not a pleasant. I stayed in my hotel room, which was still not that pleasant the entire time until it was. I was counting down the days to go back home from Memphis. It's a wild
So,
place.
so I see a viewer
Ooh,
said they love your shirt, and up
thank
until
you.
that, I just realized what it is. I thought the whole time it was
Yes,
Wonder Woman, but it is Wonder
right.
Woman, but it's for cancer awareness. I fuck
Hmm.
with it.
So
I
shout
fuck with
out
it. That's nice.
my mom is a breast cancer survivor. And so October is very, very near and dear to our hearts. And she is, oh my goodness, 8 years, 9 years. Oh, I don't even know. I know I gave her a 5 year barbecue fish fry when she was 5 years, and that was a couple years ago. So she might be 8 years strong, cancer free. But it
Mm.
was definitely something that hit us out of nowhere. My mom is just as young and vibrant as I am, and it hit. We had no history of cancer at all, and we dealt with that thing. Like it was very tough, but we dealt with that thing. So yes, thank you for that. I'm very big
All
on
right.
it.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, the whole time I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's just Wonder Woman. But and then when I seen the comment, I looked again and I'm like, oh shit, it's a little twist
Yes.
to it. Yes,
Hmm.
that's a nice touch. Um, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one younger brother, and younger, we're 5 years apart. He's very much grown, but one brother, and we are extremely close. And I think that, so I was raised by majority men. I only have male cousins. I mean, I have female cousins too, but the majority male cousins, uncles, my brother, we are extremely close. I grew up in a loving two-parent home. And so the four of us, we
What?
were just a loving two-parent home. And I
I thought you.
have to.
I
What
heard
you say?
11 somewhere, so I don't know why. I was like, 11 what? But go
Oh
ahead.
no, no. A loving two-parent home. And I always have to emphasize that because that's another topic that is recurring in the Kenya's keepsake world. Broken homes, two-parent
Mm,
homes, and
mm.
how they're important, and so on and so forth. And so it's a constant battle of me always having the topic of not every two-parent home is a loving home, and it's not always necessary. So I always emphasize I grew up in a loving two-parent home, and my brother and I are extremely close.
That's good. I love that.
Thank
What do
you.
you do for a living?
I'm a relationship coach and a youth mentor. Like this is what I do.
Oh, okay, okay. I wasn't sure if it was,
Yes.
something else you do. Okay. Well,
Mhm. Well, I
that's
was
good.
in before I went entrepreneurship full time. I was in corporate for 20 years, 20 years plus. And when I say corporate, I was chief of staff, administration for many, many different industries. So advertising, marketing, and so on and so forth there. But I was just always a people person. And when I would be in my office in these corporate spaces, people would literally come into my office and ask for relationship advice, relationship guidance. They will come and plop on my couch, and I'm at my desk, and they just tell me. So I was like, okay, this isn't about the commercial that we just did. This is about okay, no problem. This is what we got going on. Got it. And so what hit me outside of my own personal experience to actually go into this business is I was in a Wendy's bathroom. This was probably 15 years ago in the Wendy's bathroom, and a woman just came in there and started telling me about her relationship. And I said, oh, okay. So this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But yes, full-time relationship coach, youth mentor, all about the good stuff.
Got you. So, are you or have you ever been married?
I was engaged and unengaged.
Huh? That's the first. I never heard of that before. Engaged and
Yes.
unengaged.
Yes. So I was engaged and then I won't. Okay. So I tell this story on YouTube. We guys follow me, subscribe on YouTube. Not a shameless plug, but it is. But it's because this story is A, one of the reasons why I started Kenya's Keepsake, and B, because a lot of people ask me about this story. So yes, I was engaged and I woke up one morning and said, I don't want to do this. And then I was unengaged. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, you got.
And
Are you religious?
I get one more thing. I get a lot of backlash about that story because my whole purpose in saying that is that a lot of people, and again, this is why I started Kenya's Keepsake. A lot of people wait for bad things, traumatic things, or something to go on to leave a relationship. And I just knew that I didn't want to be with him. There was no fussing, fighting, cheating. I tell people all the time, he was not a yeller. I never raised his voice at all. I did not keep the ring. And I'm gonna tell you why, Allison. I'm going to tell you why. Because if I would have kept the ring, I felt he would have thought that it was still some hope. Meaning that
Mm,
I was still thinking about it, like, oh, she still got the ring. Maybe she's a little uncertain. No, 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 no. I did give the ring back. Yes, I did. But a lot of people, again, wait till something happens. Like, no, I knew that I did not want to be with him for the rest of my life, and so I said, this isn't gonna work.
mm, mm. So
Am I
how did he?
religious? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say, how did he take it? Mhm.
Oh, he didn't take it very well, which is another reason why I started Kenya's Keepsake, because throughout my experience with that, um, men, some men, and because I don't ever generalize, but they need a hardcore reason, right? He wanted it to be another man. Like, he just did not understand, like, because men need to know, like, nah, it can't be me. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, it's you. Like, I just don't want to be with you. So he didn't take it very well. It was my daughter's father. He didn't take it very well. He did become an absentee father due to that, and it was a struggle for me only because I'm a daddy's girl. And so for me, I felt like, how, my daddy is the daddy. Like, and I wanted to be a co-parent. I wanted us to be homies. I was just like, hey, I just don't want to be with you. I just don't want to marry you, but we can be cool. He did not take that well at all.
Mm.
He just decided just to not be involved at all. But I will say again, because a lot of people, when I started telling this story, thought that I was always bashing him. I'm like, I'm not bashing him. The facts are the facts. I broke up with him. He walked out of our daughter's life. He didn't want to be involved because he wanted. Those are the facts right there. I tried. I tried to get him because, and it's a running joke with my daughter and I wanted to be outside. I was like, hey, you want to babysit your daughter? Hey, can you watch your kid? I never took him for child support. Never, I was not that parent. I just didn't want to be with you. So therefore, I really was just like, hey, can you babysit? I'm trying to go outside. He chose not to be involved. But again, I will say at 22 years old, they have their own relationship. My daughter is older now, they can do whatever they have. And I'm like, not like that. But he was not there the majority of her life. He would dip in and out, and it was what it was. But he did not take it very well. He wanted it to be another man. Like, he just knew. If it just was like, oh no, it's because of Johnny is in the picture. Then I would have been bad guy, right? But no, it
Right.
was really, I wasn't cheating. There was nothing going on like that. I am just very much self aware and know that I'm not going to be with you for the kid because, again, like we said in the beginning, if I'm not good, my kid's not going to be good. And I did not see us thriving in our relationship. So,
Got you.
yeah.
All right. Well, if it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work. It's no need to drag it on. A lot of people do that. They drag it on
And
way
they
too long,
do.
and they outstay they welcome, for lack of better words. So
Yes, very much so. And again, so that's what Kenya's keepsake is really all about. Knowing yourself, understanding that if you have the right tools and that you put your self-discovery and your self-reflection first, then everything around you will work out and it will be okay. It's far too many people that are in relationships for the kids and they're deteriorating their own individuality and they don't even know it because they, like we said before, are living for their children. Look, my daughter is a college graduate. She is working, she's thriving, she is in going to graduate school, X, Y, and Z, and all of that. And she was not raised in a two-parent home, but some would put it on the cross that only successful children have to be in a two-parent home. I'm like, you guys are crazy if you guys are going to continue with that mindset. Because if that two-parent home is not loving and successful within itself, it is just
mm,
fake and it's masking.
yeah, I hear that. So all right. So are you religious?
Okay, so religious, I'm a Christian. Me and my God are here. I go to church. So spiritual Christian. When I was younger, my granny would say spiritual, but if I had to pick one of those, then I would say Christian.
Okay. So you go to church, you read the Bible and things of that nature?
Yes, I actually work for my church as well.
Oh, that's good. What do you do for the church?
So I'm their secretary, their social media manager, and I'm there for the youth. I teach vacation Bible school for the babies. And I mean, I'm all about the youth, which is crazy because I wasn't. I used to, let me see, about 5 years ago, I used to be the president of F Them Kids. Okay, like it was F Them Kids. I am the president of F Them Kids Club,
Right.
and it's nothing but God, since we're speaking about my God, he led me to the youth because I have impacted the youth so much. I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be. So the youth thing is fairly new within the last 5 years for me. And that is where the majority of what I'm doing now on a daily basis is outside of Kenya's keepsake because y'all adults, y'all different. Y'all different. Y'all don't think y'all know it all, don't need it. And I'm again, there's a percentage over here and there's a percentage over here. So I'm never generalizing, but y'all know who I'm talking to. The adults that think they have it all figured out and just don't need no guidance, no help. They good. They tell their children because I said so, and because this is what I say goes. Those are the ones that I don't even try to touch because y'all don't really want to grow and y'all don't really want to heal. So I'm going to talk to my babies, the youth who are still impressionable and still have a chance, okay, to get this generation of thing turned around. So,
Right.
yes.
Hey, and like I said, I like what you're doing, man. That's good.
Thank you.
So speaking about relationships, I have a question for you. Is it necessary for couples to share similar interests to have a successful relationship?
No.
Mm,
No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because attraction is just what it is. It just attracts, right?
right.
But it gets stale over time. It gets stale because now it becomes routine. If you have
Right.
the same interests or the similar interests, you guys are just going to stay in that realm and you're going to do what you're going to do. You know what I mean? You're
Mm,
going to keep it repetitive because you guys think that you love that. Now, what the better solution is to be open to each other's interests. And I say
mm,
that to for an example, me. I am a sports girl. Football in particular. Me and football go together real bad. Like basketball is cool, but I like it because it's a sport, but I'm not like, ooh, basketball again. Me and football and even baseball. I just go to the game because again, I'm in California, LA Dodgers. I go for the Dodge dogs and the food. I'm a big foodie. But to really understand what's going on in baseball, mm-mm. But and this is me personally, I cannot wrap my head around any guy that is not into sports.
Ah,
That will not click for me. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to love football as much as I love it, but at least you like basketball. So this is what I mean about, the difference. So
right.
if I like football, you like basketball, right? Teach me something. I'm gonna go to the games with you because I'm into the sports. I'm gonna try to learn. I might even try to like your team just because. You know what I'm saying? Is that but if you just don't like sports at all, I'm a bit confusion. We can because when
Right, right.
football season, like right now, football is Monday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday. If you're into college football, I don't really do. I do college football if I know, like when my daughter was in college, she knew players, so I was in. So now it's Saturdays of football. But if what you gonna
Yeah.
do while I'm into football? So what you gonna do on Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays,
Thursdays
and
and
Sundays?
Sundays. Yeah.
Don't
Now I got
bother
you.
me. Don't
Hey,
bother
hey,
me.
and I love a woman that is into sports, football,
Mm-hmm.
or can
Yes.
at least tolerate it and have the base level knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I often argue with people now, like especially Sundays. My son plays football. He does
Yes.
Pop Warner, right? And then after Pop Warner, now it's talking about NFL. And then people are like, "Oh, you don't have no time for me." Well, my Sundays are booked up. Like it's
Period.
dedicated to football. And then it's like I have my kids. I have things that I want to do for myself. Like I am currently working on my first book to be published.
Come on
I just started
now.
working. I
Congratulations.
appreciate you. I just started working on this food truck, right? And I eventually want to
Good for you.
uh open up my own food truck because I have a business partner for the one I'm on now. So I
Mm-hmm.
have that. So it's life ain't gonna stop lifing, and people act
Right.
like they don't understand that. People think that I'm supposed to sit on the phone with them for hours, and I just can't do it. And now for a
Mm-mm.
moment, for a period of time, for maybe like 2 months, I actually was doing that where sitting on the phone 3 hours with this person, 2 hours with this person. And then you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I sat back and when I was arguing about my kids, I sit back and I'm like, what did I do in my life? What am I doing? So I had to take a step back and put myself first,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't like it. Right? Like
Yes.
I can't be that people pleaser every day in my life because who gonna
Right.
please me? If I'm pleasing
Exactly.
you, you living on top of the mountain right now. So you ain't
Mm-hmm.
your focus is not to reciprocate that, like so where's the balance? So I
Right.
had to scale it back and I had to focus on myself.
And
That's
I'm
it.
glad. See, this is nothing. This is why I be forgetting. So I also go live every Thursday. It's called Tips Tea Thursday with your girl, right? And the reason why I forgot to mention it earlier is why? Because it's football season. So when I started Tips Tea Thursday, it was on the off season, and I didn't think about that. And then August hit, and I'm sitting up there like, ooh, should I change it to Tips Tea Tuesday? Because Thursday nights is football. And everybody be like, oh, where you didn't go live? We're like, well, that game went into overtime. So I just couldn't go live no
Yeah.
more. So I'm telling you, I have been battling this because I'm really inconsistent with Tips Tea Thursday during football season. I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, y'all. And don't let it be my team. I'm a Raider fan. Yes, Raider Nation.
Uh,
Don't let it be
uh,
my I know. See, but all right. Y'all get off me. But don't let my team lose, which they usually do. Then I'm really not going tipsy Thursday. Okay, I'm done for the night. So I
for the
still
night.
go
Yep.
with that. I mean, sometimes I'll go after the game because my best friend and I. See, here's another thing that I do. I forgot to mention. Every first Monday of the month, we do Money Mondays. She's a financial enthusiast, and I'm a relationship
Mm.
coach. So, what we do every Monday, first Monday of the month, we go live and we talk about how relationship and finances collide. And she gives a lot of financial tips. Like we did it this Monday because it was the first Monday. But guess what? She's a football girl too. We went after the game, so we texting each other like, "What time we going?" When the game is, okay, bad, no problem. So we watching the game go off. She said, okay, 8:30, okay, cool. Then we go live. But yeah, football season, what? It's nothing. What? Even in church, I'd be like, ooh. Oh, am I going to church? Am I going to watch it on the YouTube today? Or am I going to church today? Let me look at the lineup. But
And
I'm telling you.
I get that. I like that because, like I said, man, hey, that's how it be, man. So football season is, I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
It's
And I don't
deep.
have time for nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially now, because right now it's great for me because for shit, I haven't been able to enjoy football in years because
Mm,
for the last 7 years I was a kitchen manager in a restaurant. They ain't gonna give you
mm,
no Sundays off. So the only
mm,
thing I was able to watch is like Sunday night game, Monday night
mm,
game, Thursday
mm.
night game. 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games I wasn't able to watch. I wasn't
Right,
fortunate enough.
right.
But right now, because I'm out of work, shit, I be living it up. I be watching it. Even if I be
Yes.
like, I don't care for neither one of these teams. I'm like, you know
Yep.
what? It's a silver lining at the end, right? I look at it like
Hmm.
my team might have to play them. So let's see what we working with here.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
almost like a Monday night quarterback type of thing. I'm like
Hmm.
I don't coach the team, but in my mind, I'm like, let's see what we got to focus on today. And it's not like I
Right.
convey my messages to the team, but it's just that's just how it is to be a sportsman, you know. So yeah, those are the
Exactly.
times.
Yes.
Um,
So, what? But going back to the original question, so that was just example. No, you do not have to have seminar. It's fun if you do, right?
right.
But it's also fun if you don't because you guys learn off of each other. I'm an avid reader. I was in a book club. Look, still adding to my resume. I was in a book club for 12 years. I'm an avid reader, right? And during that time, if I was dating a guy, he'd be like, what you reading? Or I'm into the urban books. I'm talking before Tubi was Tubi, because I look added to my resume. I used to do Tubi Tuesdays too, where I watch and review Tubi movies. So I have some Tubi movie reviews on my YouTube channel as well. But some of the guys, they'll let me tell them what's in the story. They'll be getting into the characters too. I'll be like, oh my god, like this is what happened. Let me
You know,
tell you.
and it's crazy you mentioned that because people sleep on Tubi. Now I don't watch Tubi too much, but sometimes I be going through. I be Peacock, I go
Right.
Netflix, HBO Max,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't see nothing that I be wanting to watch, or they might want to be like, "Oh, you gotta pay for it." I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Mm-mm.
I go over to Tubi and I put something new with no expectations, and sometimes I be like this. That's one of the best movies I ever seen. The only thing that wasn't up to par was like maybe the production, right? But as far
Yes.
as storyline and stuff,
Yes.
people be sleeping on Tubi. So
Yes.
Tubi be low key making their money man over
Yes.
there. So
I've actually
uh
had a few Tubi producers reach out to me, producers and directors, because I love Tubi so much. Like I talk about Tubi all the time, and I review like a few of their movies, and so they've reached out to me before. But a lot of them are based in Detroit, so they've invited me to different casting and all that other kind. So I'm like, I'm in LA, I can't make it, but you just wait. You just wait. Me
right,
and
right.
Tubi go together.
Now it's crazy. So and I said about the similar interests, right? But doesn't that fall in line with when people say like say if you starting to or trying to you're thinking about getting into a new relationship and you're on a talking stage, and we often say, what do we have in common? Or let's see if we have things in common. Is that like the same thing? Finding some similar interests, maybe like things in
Mm.
common, and that's what bring y'all together?
Well, it depends. Okay. So I'm one of those persons that always want to know there's a why for everything. Why do you want to know what we have in common, right? Is it so that okay, let me run it back. Here's the thing about
Uh
that. Again, people get repetitive because they think that that's a part of the impression stage, right? So, what do we have in common? So, if I sit up there and be like, oh my God, I love comedy shows, he's like, I love comedy shows too. Now, every time you plan a date, we go into the comedy show. I'm like, bruh, no, hold on. Like, yes, we both like comedy shows, but that don't mean that. That's one end of it to where it's like you don't always have to have the same thing in common. Now, what you do need to do is find what's the importance of that, right? If
Right.
it's really important to you. Also, because hobbies change, interests change. I mean, who knows? I know pickleball. Pickleball is real big right now, right? Pickleball wasn't back in the day. I don't know if where you are, pickleball. Have you heard pickleball before?
Yeah.
Okay, so pickleball was not last year. I'm like, what is that? Table tennis? What's happening? What is pickleball? All right, right. So say I was in a 5-year relationship, right? And now I'm not. My best friend is into pickleball. I'm just like, I don't get it. But I say that to say, all right, so now what if one is interested in pickleball? And it's just like, oh, okay, so now let's see, if I could be of some interest in pickleball. Like, it's just one of those things. But what people really have to understand, the common things that you really should be looking for are common values, common morals, common principles, common standards. Those are what the common interests should be about, not the outside thing, not the hobbies, not the interests, because those that will come unless it's something totally against what you just do. I'm not rock climbing. I'm sorry. Like, but just because you like rock climbing, that's fine. But it doesn't, let me say this, it's not a necessity today, if that wraps it all up.
I wouldn't say a necessity. It's just it's a good tool to have in your tool belt. I would say, because
Okay.
you like okay, like you say repetitive. Okay, too much of anything is
Mm-hmm.
too much. So people
Correct.
constantly say, "Oh, comedy, comedy, comedy." Of course, it's gonna be bad. But to have
Mm-hmm.
that in their back pocket, like shit, I can't think of nothing else. I know that she enjoys this. Let me put a smile on her face and let me do it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's a good tool in your tool belt. And then what's the other thing you just said? Oh, you
What?
said about morals and stuff like that. All those
Yeah.
things should all those things is equally important as well. But then you need to understand that person, just like you should understand yourself. Right? You need to
Mm-hmm.
know people's morals and things. But the thing is, when you first get into a new relationship, I don't hang my hat off of what people say because in the beginning,
Right.
everybody put on this facade and they're going to put
Mm-hmm.
the best version or the paint the perfect picture of themselves. And
Absolutely.
so when it comes to morals and the respect level, all that's going to come in time.
Mm-hmm.
Asking them about it, to me, when I ask
Mm-hmm.
people, to me, it's more so like, okay, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. I'm gonna keep it in my back
Mm-hmm.
pocket. Let's see if you are really that person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's my measuring stick. This is who you say you are. Now that's
Right.
my measuring stick. That's the bar. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta reach that. You can't dip below that because you told me you here. So for me, when I ask those questions, it's more like a measuring stick for me. Like, okay, this is what you said. Let's see if this is really who
Right.
you are.
Okay,
And the
so
moment
here's
I
the
start seeing
thing.
those red flags and stuff, that's when I check you like respectfully, but hold up. I mean, I thought you was this type of person, but I'm starting to see something different. And those are the type of things that fall to the wayside. We need to set those boundaries and limitations, and we have to have those uncomfortable conversations early on in relationships. Not
Mm-hmm.
when a year later, now you want to throw it in their face because now they're gonna look at you like, get the fuck out of here. So those are the type of conversations you're gonna have early on, right? And then if that person don't want to have those conversations, if they're not comfortable, then that person's not for you.
So
That's
here's
what
the
I look at.
thing. Here's where Kenya's keepsake come in, and what I do. I'm not big on questions. I do not encourage questions. I don't. The
All right.
whole interviewing during the dating and the talking stage. I encourage people to be who they are, right? And feel me on this, because I know a lot of people, and I hear you and I get it, because a lot of people are like, well, how will you know? How will you know if you don't ask? How will you know if this and that? Again, I'm big on the why are you asking certain questions. And I believe that certain general questions or certain questions that people ask or try to lead with, they really have to understand, why are they asking that? Are they asking that again to put that in the back pocket, to hold it over them or anything like that? Because naturally, honestly, everybody's nervous in the beginning, whether it's a good nervous or a bad nervous or a fake nervous or whatever. Everybody's nervous because everybody is always like, I don't know you like that. So I'm gonna say this, or I'm not gonna say this, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm not gonna do this, or I'm not gonna put my best foot forward because I don't know you like that. But the most authentic discussion, conversation, how you get to know somebody is if everyone really shows up as themselves. And people really just need to put their guard down and understand that life is life. All right. Life is full of disappointments. Life is full of shortcomings. But the problem is too many people harbor that. Right. And that's why it's a talking and a dating stage. And experience are going to be what they are. So therefore, if you go as your authentic self in the first date or the first meetup or the first discussion, and it turns out bad, exit. You feel me? Like, don't sit up there and be like, see, I shouldn't have said this, or I shouldn't have put my best foot forward, or I shouldn't have did this, I should have held back. No, you should not have. You were yourself, and that person was just not for you. A lot of people sit up there and try to fix for the future. You know, if they feel something is off on the first date, or if they just sit there like, let's see what the second day brings, or they try to change that person or the narrative, or they try to change themselves to try to make everything work. Too many people try to make everything work immediately instead of really just understanding everybody isn't for you. Another thing that I cannot stand is dating with intentions. A lot of people fight me on this. No, no, no. I see your face. I'm gonna bring it home. I'm gonna see your face. Think about and I'm big on definitions. If you look, I even created a keepsake dictionary, okay? Because I am so tired of people using words. Toxic is the first one on this keepsake dictionary, okay? What's on the other one? What's on that? I'm not gonna take y'all through the whole keepsake dictionary, but here's the thing: every word has a definition. People don't follow the definition. If you think of the word intention, what is the definition of intention, right? Everybody has an intention. It's good, bad, indifferent, whatever. So dating with intention, people can date with bad intentions. People can date with good intentions. So therefore, stop dating with intentions or looking to date for intentions, because you don't know what the other person's intentions are. And just because you say you're dating with intentions, what is your intention? Is your intention to what? So that's why people need to stop doing that. And then another thing people fight me on, and you can stop me when you're ready, is the whole expectations thing. I tell people to throw expectations out the window as well. I see your face. I see your face.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
I'm listening. I'm on your couch right now. So, elaborate on that, because you said the expectations out the window. Why would I do that?
Yes, I'm going to tell you why. Because who is the expectation for? The expectation is for you. And who is the only person that is disappointed when their expectation isn't met? You. But guess what? You put your expectations on somebody that you don't even know is capable of meeting your expectation. So you're the only one that's mad because they didn't reach your expectation. How you mad at them? You didn't even know if they was capable. So therefore, those are your expectations. The expectations is something that you want somebody to fulfill for you. You don't know if that person can. So therefore, you're blaming them for not meeting your expectations. You can't do that because you don't even know if they have the tools or the power. You're not giving them grace. Expectations don't allow grace.
Sound good. It sounds good. But that's like, you said don't have expectations because we don't know if they can live up to those expectations. Well, we can say the same about dreams. We all have dreams. We're not sure if we can fulfill those dreams or bring those dreams into fruition. So to say it's throw dreams out the window, then you'll be lost. A person with no dreams and no aspirations are lost.
Well, that's not true, because here's the thing about your dream. It only involves you. You see what I'm saying? So if you
You
don't
sure about
reach,
that? Because
yes.
I will push back on that and say that, like when you have a dream, it's people, places, and things that we have to navigate and maneuver around for those dreams to come to fruition,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not just ourselves, because guess what? Oh, like my dream is to have this food truck. Well, guess what? It's steps to get there, right?
Right.
It's roadblocks to it. So it's other people that I got to go through to get to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill dreams,
Right.
right? So
Yes.
it's not just me.
But it is because it's your dream. Do you see what I mean? So if those other people don't, okay, follow me on this one. If those other people don't do their parts, it's still your dream. You see what
Right,
I'm saying? It's about you. It's still your dream. But
right,
you can find other people to help. So
right,
if you're, I'm trying to think about food terms because a food truck, I'm trying to put it in your language, in your world. Okay, so if you get a chef, right? That's a
right,
part of your dream. Your food truck, you need other chefs, you need food vendors or any of those things, right? If those
right.
things fall off or don't play, you can find other ones. But guess what? It's still your dream. You
You're
feel me?
right. But like you, what if those other people don't come through for if through it don't work out, right? It's still my dream, but it just
Mm-hmm.
stalls my dream. Just like in a relationship, when you have these expectations and people don't live up to those expectations, it
Mm-hmm.
stalls your relationship status. Because when we talk about the whole talking stage, getting to know somebody,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
being with somebody, we all should have these expectations for a relationship, right?
For a relationship, for how you want your relationship to be, right?
And that's how we, yeah, right. But
No, no, no,
and
no, no. That's a difference. So you have
okay,
expectations on how you want your relationship to be. You shouldn't put that on another individual. So, for an example, okay, no, let's do it like this. Give me one of your relationship expectations. We're gonna play it this way. I'm gonna bring it home.
okay, put me on the hot seat. I mean, all right. So,
Yep.
what are my expectations for a relationship? Um, for somebody to, okay, first and foremost, to be understanding.
Okay.
That's a
All right.
reasonable expectation.
Now, oh, this is good. Okay, okay. Is that an expectation or a standard? Oh, because I
It's an
always say this
expectation.
person, you expect the other person to be understanding. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's play with it. All right. You expect that person to be understanding. Now,
Right.
understanding is subjective, right? Because that
Mm.
person can only understand you to her level of understanding, to her level of emotional intelligence, to her level of maturity, to her level of her love language, to her level of how she was raised. So, therefore, it'd be unfair to her if you are trying to explain something to her and you're telling her, well, you don't understand me. You don't understand me. And she's like, but I do. And you like, no, you don't understand me. And she's like, oh, but I do. You see what I mean?
Okay. It is subjective, and I listen. I see
Mm-hmm.
where you're trying to take this,
So where I'm trying to
but
take it.
yeah,
All right.
it's
Hold on.
because, like
Go
I
ahead.
said, we all should have expectations. That's all, in my opinion.
No. And
Because
that's what sets people up for failure.
so, okay, so let's hey, we talk about relationships. So you said in relationships we both shouldn't have expectations. So where are we going until we just going through the motions without expectations? I feel like we're just going through the motions.
No, you should always have standards. Standards for
Okay.
yourself and then allow the person that you are meeting to reach your standards. You can't have an expectation on every individual because therefore you're looking for something like you're looking for one thing in every female. You can't do that. Let's go with a surface level one. And I don't like surface level ones because they're so surface level. But let's go with this. I expect my woman to cook every night, right? You
Yeah.
can't do that. You cannot expect your woman to cook every night. And I'm going to tell you why. That's
You
setting her
can,
up. Go ahead.
but no, I would say, but you can. Now, if she's not willing to do that, then she's not the person for you. So now your expectations will go fall with somebody else. It's
No.
those are the trials and tribulations in life, especially when we talk about relationships. We have to navigate and find that person for us that's going to be aligned with us. It's going to move the way we move. It's going to, you know what I'm saying? Live the way we
No.
live, breathe the way
No.
we breathe. How? So
Because
okay.
so let me
Go
go
ahead.
with that perfect example. So you expect your woman to cook every night, right? Okay.
Hmm.
Now here's the thing. You're putting that on her without knowing if she can even cook. What if that's what I'm saying? What if there's so much more to her? So would you rather eat every night or do you want her to cook every night? Because what if all she knows how to cook is spaghetti and tacos? So now you mad because you expect her to cook every night and she doesn't know how, but you want, like, okay, you not meeting my expectations to cook every night. Not only that, what if her job doesn't allow? What if she's tired? What if she can't stand that long? What if it's just, I'm just saying, you can't expect her to meet certain expectations. So what you gonna do? Because she can't cook for you every night, right? And again, this is surface level, but just understand the point here. She can't cook for you every night, but she fulfills the majority of everything else because she gonna make sure you eat, whether she cooks it or not. She gonna make sure you eat. She gonna make sure your home is good. She gonna make sure the sex is right, whatever else it is. But because she can't do, she can't cook for you every night, you gonna go find Tabitha who can throw down in the kitchen every night. Oh, she from the South. She can cook this. She gonna bring it, but she don't have everything else. You see what I mean? So expectations, and again, I know that was surface level. Setting
Right.
standards too high. I see you, Allison. Go ahead, but you touch on that before I go ahead.
So listen, I, for a man or a woman to dismiss somebody off of one flaw or one expectation that couldn't be fulfilled or met is the wrong person. Right now, we venturing off to a narcissist and a control freak. Right, like now when you say the woman's job prevents her from cooking every night. Well, that's different, and that's where that understanding should come from. Like, so when and then if you're one of your deal breakers in a relationship is if you don't cook every night, then we can't
See,
be.
no,
Those are
no.
the those.
Usually I don't interrupt, but see, you done brought up another word. That's another word that I can't stand that people
Which
misuse,
one?
overuse it. Deal breaker. That's something different. A deal breaker is not the same as an expectation. And so what I coach and what I teach is negotiable versus non-negotiable, right?
Right.
And I see where you're trying to go with this. I took that from you. I see
You
where
see
you're
that?
trying to go with this, right? But here, see, you're getting off of what expectations really mean. And that's why I hated using that surface level example because no, it's not about the fact that, oh, but here's the thing, you can't say, oh, I expect you to do this. Oh, but it's okay if you can't because then that's not, it shouldn't be an expectation then. You see what I mean? Because now the pressure is on the other person. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? Take expectations, put too much pressure on the other person because you want to be fulfilled off of an expectation that you don't know that that other person do. Now here's the thing about how some individuals work, whether it's male or female. A lot of us are okay with trying to please our partner. We want to make them happy. We want to do everything for them. If I know that you expect me to cook every single night and I'm not capable of cooking, I'm going to bust my ass to try to fulfill your expectation, knowing that I can't. And guess what that's going to do to me? That's going to break me down because I know that you have this expectation of me. I'm not going to tell
Right.
you that I can't because I work long hours. I'm not going to sit up there and tell you that my big toe hurt and I can't slave on. I'm not going to tell you this kitchen is hot because you put that expectation on
Hey,
me, which is unfair.
well, hey, you can look at it as being unfair, but guess what? In the beginning of the relationship, in that talking stage, those are the building blocks, right? So if that pressure is
Mm-mm.
that, if it's pressure like that, that's those kind of things that need to be conveyed early on, and then hopefully it
No,
won't be a catastrophe. You know,
but
you
it
you
will
you
be.
you. I mean, then that means that woman is flawed. If she don't want to sit there and tell that man that she claims she love and want to be with, like, oh, this is too much, right? That's that communication, right? So what? So all right,
Mm,
when we talk about the word healing, right?
okay, yes.
Um, so what are some healing skills in relationships?
Oh, like you said, effective communication.
Hey,
Effective
there you go.
communication. And it's effective communication, not just communication, because I also teach the 5 communication styles because everybody think communication is key. No, it's not. It is not, because everybody, and like I said, what we have to understand about individuals is everyone is operating on the level that they have, the level that they know, the level of emotional intelligence or management that they have. So everyone thinks that they're communicating and they're not effectively communicating. When you're silent, you're communicating. When you're over speaking, you're communicating, and it's not always effective. So a lot of the healing tools start with being uncomfortable and comfortable at the same time.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, because like I was getting it, like the communication piece, that you got active listening. It's a lot of things that
Mm-hmm.
come from the healing, um, and you have to come to terms with all these things that falls under that umbrella of healing in
Mm-hmm.
order to thrive. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying. Like
Correct.
you got to be able to convey whether something's too much for you or not.
Yes, absolutely. But also at the same time, it's easier said than done because we want to please. And I agree with you. That is something that we need to undo. But too many people don't undo that. They want to make their partners happy. And it really falls on a lot of men as well. A lot of men are just whatever she wants, whatever, happy wife, happy life. That's another one I hate personally. Happy wife, happy life. Like, no, it is not. But also, too, the other person has to understand how to be okay or open with that. So, again, going back to the expectations, if someone says, I cannot meet your expectations, I cannot meet your expectations. And then if the other persons are like, all right, then bye, that doesn't make me comfortable. That doesn't make me that you're understanding, because I just said I can't meet your expectations. Now at that point, now it should be open to negotiate. And I do not like the word compromise. It's gonna be a lot of words that y'all know that y'all notice that I don't like. And it's only because us as humans, we don't know how to properly use these terms that are meant for healing, that are meant for effective communication, because a lot of people don't really understand how to use these words. So
Mm,
compromising still makes one person unhappy. Compromising, someone is still giving up something. But
right.
negotiating, right, is that's what's meeting in the middle.
Right. You know, it's this thing that I always get pushback for all the time. I tell people all the time. When people talk about relationships and things of that nature, and people might say, "Oh, so what is something about you that you think that somebody will have a difficult time with?" Well, my one thing is this: I tell people, I
Mm-hmm.
don't conform; she conforms to me, right? And I get a lot of flack for that, but that's just who I am. I am who I am, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not going to conform to you. If we're gonna make this work, you got to conform to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people automatically say, "Oh, you're a narcissist," or is that you a control freak? Well, I don't. Anybody know me in a relationship? I don't try to control you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, you know how some people you go in a room and it just seems like it just feels like everything moves around that person. That person does not have to physically move it. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I'm coming from, and that's who I am. I feel like I come in the room and I just like command that kind of respect. Right,
Mm.
I don't have to go in there and sit there and say, "Oh, let me move out my way." I feel like when I enter that room, my presence speaks for itself. People move for me. So when I say I don't conform, you conform to me. It's like I'm
Mm-hmm.
open to compromise and you say you don't like that word. I'm open
Uh-huh.
to those things,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I'm not going to change who I am to fit the mold type of thing. I,
Mm.
I am who I am, and I'll change little certain things, but that's it. I'm open to. Well, you don't like this, okay? I can change it. I can tweak it, but at the end of the day, you got to conform to me. That's it.
And you know what I would say to that?
What's that?
There is definitely going to be a woman out there for you.
Why you say that?
Because that it, like you said, I understand why you get a lot of pushback, backlash from that, because of how it sounds and how it might be. But there's somebody for everybody, and there is an individual or many maybe out there that is going to be okay with that. But there is also going to be a type of woman that you will not have.
It's called being an alpha.
No.
Why? Why isn't it? So nowadays, I'm glad you said it. Nowadays, it seems like like when you talk about gender roles and stuff, it seems like roles haven't been reversed. Men these days are content with just sitting back and stay at home dads or wherever the case may be, and living off the woman, right? And the woman wants to walk around with her chest poked out like she's the man in the relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
so I would never I would never allow that to happen. I'm the man every
Mm-hmm.
day, all day. That's it, and that's all
Well,
I'm really
yeah.
trying to say.
Well, no, that's not what that means, though. What you just said was different from a woman has to conform to me. So, what I heard, and this is important. So, what I heard when you said a woman has to conform to me, meaning that if she is going to enter my world, then
Mm,
she has to revolve around my world. So, whatever she has before she met me, right? That's cool.
right.
But when she steps into my world, she has to conform and mold into what I have going on. She can't come in here and rock it, shake it. She can't come in here with any demands. She cannot bring what she has going on in here. She has to conform to me. I will not conform to her world. That is what I heard. Did I get any of that wrong?
I, I see. I'm trying to see. All right. So this another thing. So you didn't get it wrong, but
Okay.
per se,
Okay.
it just once you say it out loud, it
Uh
sounds
huh.
negative. But the people that's been with me or that's interested in me, they will tell you what's wrong with it, what he said. That's what they would say. So maybe I'm not using the right terminology for it, but that's how I put it out there. I don't conform. People conform. It's just my way to highway without being controlling, type of thing.
And this is why it's very, and I stress this in all of my practices and coaching. This is why words mean nothing.
Right.
Words mean nothing, which it goes back to why I say when you're in the talking stage, no questions, no interviewing, no none of that, because people do not really know how to articulate themselves and I'm not saying like in a negative way, but it is what it
Right.
is. You do not articulate that very well. So therefore, to a certain woman, which you could pass up on the best woman for you, right? She could
Right.
be the best woman. But for that particular woman, right? If you come
Mm,
to her and say those words that you're saying, you're going to miss out on her because it is
mm,
not articulated right. You're not really saying what you mean. Now, again,
right.
being an out, that is not being an alpha male because there is a such thing as being controlling out loud and being in control silently. I believe I control everything silently. I'm not loud with my control. I'm very subtle in my control. You know what I mean? Because I don't have to control. But I am that person. So I'm a part of a sorority and my line name is center stage. That speaks for itself. But it's not because I was given my line name. I didn't and for me, I'm just like, y'all think I'm center stage? Like, what is it? A lot of people think I'm very entertaining. I'm very, you know what I mean? But it's not because I'm trying to dominate or I'm
Right.
trying. That's my personality. But I would never come to a man and be like, listen, I'm center stage. It is what it is. You're gonna have to get on my stage and then be to the left or anything like that. You know what I
But
mean? So
maybe,
there's a difference.
but maybe not verbally, but if that's who you are, right? That
Mm-hmm.
man's gonna find out anyways. So
Right.
I'm not saying ram it down their throat, but like, why not put it out there? Especially if they
Because
say,
it's
"What's the one thing that you think might, cause
well,
friction?" Like,
because it's not articulated very well.
mm,
That's what I'm saying. It's not articulated because it's going to be taken as it's said. So, which again, certain things shouldn't be said if you have to show something different. That's why a
right,
lot of things need to be more shown than talked about. Because, and also, too, things evolve, things change. And that's another thing. It depends on what's important to you because you might say that now, and I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I'm just saying in general, you might say that now, right? But then comes a special type of woman because there is everybody for somebody, somebody for everybody, and you might not even know that you're silently or unconsciously or unintentionally She is. You are conforming to her world. See, the thing about it is that you guys can actually forget your world, forget her world, and build your own world together. But what you are saying is that if you coming to the left, then you gonna have to be to the left. We not gonna make no middle ground. We not going to the right. We ain't even gonna try a whole new world. You coming to the left, and I'm not stepping one toe over to the right. It's
Mm.
not articulated very well. But like I said, you never know. The deeper you get into that woman, the deeper that she shows you some things, your pinky toe might come over to the right a little bit. Then next thing you know, that big toe gonna be over to the right. And then y'all gonna meet in the middle. But if you just start off with, hey, everything over here on the left is right, and this is what it's gonna be, it's not gonna work out. It's just not.
Listen, you so okay. We can't really say what's going to work, what's not going to work. I mean, because like you just said, it's somebody for everybody, you know.
That's true.
So and we go back to what we talk about expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my expectations. When I told you earlier to be understanding, right? I let that know. I let it be known early on. Like this is what I expect. Like I know me, and it might be for you. It might not be for you. But if you tell me
Mm-hmm.
that it's for you and you ready to take this journey and walk this walk with me, okay, that's my and that's the bar that
Okay,
we're gonna progress in that.
but that's not allowing that other person to be who they are because you're already telling them off top that you need to be who I want you to be.
If I say that early on, okay, that's where we a lot of people don't set boundaries and we don't have those conversations
See,
in the beginning.
here we go with another word that boys my keepsake grits,
Yeah,
boundaries.
yeah.
Because that's something totally different. That's the other. Listen, let me tell y'all, that's another problem with the world today and your individuals here. Y'all intertwine words and y'all try to mix them all in and they don't even go together and then they overlap and mix and then they get confused with everything. This has nothing to do with boundaries. What you are talking about are not boundaries. They're not boundaries. Boundaries are something different. Boundaries are more with the negotiables and non-negotiables. Boundaries is something that, hey, this right here, if you cross this right here, this is not, you can't say if you don't understand me, then you're not you're not understanding my boundaries. That's not a boundary.
Right. No, I got
Everybody
you.
just keeps confusing all of these words.
I wasn't trying to tie that to what I was saying. I mentioned boundaries because what I'm saying, like in the early on in the talking stage, a lot of people don't set those boundaries. A lot of people don't have those conversations. I was just gearing towards things we don't do early on. That's all I was saying. That's why I brought up boundaries. Um,
Right.
now,
And I feel
now,
you on that. But I think that the things that we're doing early on or that we're taught to do early on is not effective and it's not working. Those aren't the things that you should be doing early on. The things that
got
you
you.
should be doing, that's why I'm all about self. The things you should be more worried about is yourself early on, not the other person. Too many people, when they're in the talking stage, or they're so worried about what that other person can do, what their other person can do for them, what their other person can meet for them, what the other person can do. Like, what about you and yourself? Because that right there, if you are expecting the other person to meet your needs, to do this for you and to do this, what are you giving to the other person? You're not leaving, you're suffocating that person. You're not leaving that other person room to sit there and be able to, tell you as well or to be open and grow together. You are just
Mm,
sitting up there worried about what you can do. Can you fulfill this for me? Can you respect my boundary? Can you do this for me? And it's like, first of all, hold on, because I we
mm,
don't even know if we can go past want to do those things for you. Because let me tell you something else about an individual. An individual will do for you if they want to. It has to be an effort thing. It has to be a feeling. We always talk about safe spaces, right? A lot of these expectations, throwing all of these things on the other person, that's not a safe space. That doesn't leave a safe space right there. That's an interview room. That's what that is. Because since we want to go with interview, when you're trying to get a job, what do? You put your best foot forward. Then you get comfortable in that job because now you're here. Right? And it's the same
mm,
thing. Yes, if I hear everything you want me to do, guess what? If I, depending on my mindset, if I hear everything you want to do, guess what? I have room to fake it with you. And now, since I'm sitting up there and faking it with you, and I'm saying this is what some people do, this is why telling and talking way too much in the beginning can set the relationship up or whatever it is for failure. Because if I want to play your game, then yeah, in the beginning, I'm gonna sit up there and I'm gonna do, oh, you expect me to do this? Yeah, cool, no problem, because I'm gonna play your game with you. But then after a while, yes, when my true colors show down the line, 6 months, 1 year, whatever, you gonna be like, oh, you wasting my time because this was your. But guess what? On my end, it might not be wasted time for me because I was just playing your little game. I had a year to waste, and you see what I'm saying? This is you set
Right.
the other person up
There's
and
something else I
yourself.
want to talk about, and I don't forgot about it twice, but you
It's like,
just
oh
reeled
yeah.
me back in when you mentioned it when you said the talking stage. So one thing I like to do is like on Facebook occasionally, but on Snapchat and stuff, I pose a question of the day, and like last week I had a question where I said let me see if I can remember how I worded it. I said should a talking stage be a thing, and if so, is it and during that talking stage is it fair game until you make it official? To that you say what?
Fair
Well,
game
we stick
meaning you
with the
can talk to multiple people.
yes. Let's stick with the first part first. What's the talking stage? Like, should that be a thing?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how long is the talking stage?
Time is subjective.
See, it's funny. I said that, and I got crucified for all these women. It's like, most people tell me once you go on one date, the talking stage is over. Some people say 2 dates. Some people say it should not be more than 5 days. When somebody asks me, okay, since you talk about the talking stage, how long is the talking stage to you? What I said was 3 to 4 weeks minimum. And I said, but it all depends on the person,
Hmm.
right? Do you think 3 or 4 months? I mean, 3 or 4. Did I say month or weeks?
You
Three
said
or 4 weeks.
weeks.
Okay, so do you think 3 to 4 weeks is too long or not long enough for the talking stage?
I always say it's about quality and quantity.
Mm.
Quality versus quantity. And then what are you doing? Even I don't care if you've been together 10 years. What are you doing? Are you growing in that 10 years or are you just there or stagnant? The talking stage can definitely be months. It could be
Oh, yeah.
however, depending on what's going on. See, a lot of people don't take account into lifestyles, right? So lifestyles, how big, what are your careers like, is that, because you have to talk. You if you can't go on a date every week, you just can't because of your lifestyle. If
Right.
somebody's traveling every now and then, you have to talk. That's what you got to
Mm.
do. You have to do that. So I don't care if it's 3 4 months. Listen, time flies. All right, I'm telling you, 2025 is about to be over. My birthday is in January. I still remember my birthday party. Okay, time
Yeah.
flies. Therefore, and my birthday is about to come back up again. I'm already like, dang, what am I doing? Because my last birthday, I'm very big on my birthday, first of all, right? So that's one thing. And so since we're going back to I'm a jump and I'm gonna jump back. Non-negotiables, right? My birthday is important to me. I'm gonna need whoever that I'm dating, talking to, or with to understand that my birthday is a big thing. My birthday's huge.
Mm.
All right. So anyway, but back to the talking in the dating stage, right? So again, it's subjective because it's about how you guys are moving. Or have you guys gotten to know each other enough in 3 weeks to feel that you want to be exclusive? Have
And
you
that's
guys had
subjective.
that many discussions? Exactly.
And that's what makes it difficult. One party might feel like, oh, I think we passed that. And the other one might be like, no, I still don't have enough information, right?
Right.
And,
Mm-hmm.
but which that's since you said it's words that you hate, that's one thing that draws me up a wall, right? It
Mm-hmm.
drives me crazy because what do you mean you don't know enough? This is the thing. People could be married for 10 years and not really know that person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or before marriage, they can be with each other for 10 years or 5 years and not really know that person until they really start living together. Now you
Mm-hmm.
start to pick up
Correct.
on all the little nuances and all those things. So when people say, I don't know enough, this is something like you get to know enough. right? If you're still interested in that person, then you engage into a relationship and then you try to progress in that relationship together. And that's how I
Mm.
look at it. But, a lot of women be like, yeah, nah, I need to know everything about you all at once, which I think is insane.
I'm going against both of those things. So no, you don't need to know everything, but I do think there is a level, like I said, of comfort. A lot of people don't move in comfort, and if we want to keep using the word safe or safe spaces, a lot of people don't move in that because a lot of people do move with the word time or the length. It's about strength versus length. Okay, let's take it there. Strength versus length. It could be somebody, for an example, I mean, I've known some friends that I've known for 20 plus years, but then I have sorority sisters that I feel our bond is stronger, and we've just been sorority sisters for however long. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's about the strength of the relationship. And so then if someone tells you that I don't feel like I know enough or I'm comfortable enough to move around that, then it's on you to either want to know what she's missing or he's missing, or what is it more that you need. That's where that effective communication come from, instead of being like, well, I'm ready, why aren't you? Oh my god, like I thought we were on the same page. Well, obviously we're not on the same page, so now let's understand what more I need from you or what you're not doing, because everybody thinks they top notch. Everybody think they're baddie. Everybody think that they Mr. Dangling and all that other kind of stuff. So everybody put themselves on a high horse. But it's always somebody out there like, hold on, sir. You're still not here with it. So we
That's
need
true.
to. So it's still levels to relationship, and it's the same thing. When you move from a relationship to a fiance, from a fiance to that, you have to have that comfort level. One person could be ready, and usually, and I'm saying usually, say it's the woman. The woman is ready to get married, but she's waiting on that man to propose. Why won't you marry me? My friends are getting married. I thought we were here. And he like, ooh, hold on. Not ready to
Hold the
make
fuck
that
on.
commitment.
Yeah,
Ooh, it's the same thing. I don't know why people don't take that same knowledge in every stage and every step of the way. Just like a job, you don't go in being the CEO. You go in from probably, at McDonald's, you on the fries first. My very first job was In and Out. In and Out is top, is one of the, do y'all have In and Out? I don't know if you know
no,
what In and Out. Oh, okay.
no,
You
I
know
do.
what
I
In and
know
Out?
down south. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, out here, In and Out. I mean,
It's
well,
big. It's big out there. It's out. In
it's
and
big.
out is mostly out Midwest to West.
Okay, so again, that was my very first job. I love it and now so much. But it's levels to this, and they are a huge company, right? You start cleaning the tables on the outside, and then once you do that, you get to go in and call the numbers for the food. And then after that, you go to the drive-through, then you go to the fries, then you go to, it's the same thing. But guess who it has to be on a level of your capacity. Everybody that's ready to be a wife ain't ready to be a wife.
That's true. They say they want to, but they don't. I mean, but
Exactly.
they're not ready. I mean, so
So
I
it's the
so
same
this
thing with talking. Go ahead.
so the second part of that was, is it fair game until you make it official?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
see,
With right, with effective communication. Don't the problem lies when everything is sneaky or done behind others' back. Now, here's the thing. I am not saying, because I see a look. I see the look in your eye. I'm not saying every detail needs to be shared. I am not saying put the other people against each other, because I've seen situations where they pit the other. Well, I'm talking to you and so and so. Now it's a competition and this pit there. No, 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 no. But it does need to be an understanding, even if the surface level understanding is that, listen, it's fair game. We're not. That's where the word exclusive comes in. So yes.
okay. So all right, so I was leaning towards the same thing. It's fair game, right? But a lot of women that eat me alive, they say no. Once you say you talking, that's your way of saying I'm interested in being in a relationship with you. But my pushback was, we're talking about being in a relationship, but we're not in a relationship. I mean, I've been in a position before where I was in a talking stage and I was like, oh, my girl. And then the girl said, oh, when we decide on that. You know what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
if I can't claim you during that talking stage, it should be fair game. But a lot of women just been eating me up lately and say no. So why talk to her? Go talk to somebody else then. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here for a month, 2 months, and we both so we're talking, and I'm supposed to just be exclusive to you. That's crazy. Because then no, I just can't do it. That's
Mm-hmm.
just me. But a lot of women lately have been telling me otherwise.
Let me tell you something about women. Women be lying. And women are always based on their situation. They speak from their situation and their emotions. And I say that to say that I guarantee you that the women that are saying that is only because they don't have Daryl, Derek, and John in the background. Trust
Oh,
me, if they had Derek, Daryl, or John, they'd be saying the same thing. Like, it's fair game. It's fair game. I'm talking to you, Derek, Daryl, and John. But no, it's because they put all their baskets into you, but still not ready to take that next step, or you not ready to take that next step. So now they're gonna sit up there and say it's not fair game. But again, if Derek, Daryl, and John was in their back
hmm
pocket, then it'd be
hmm
fair game. Women be lying. Not all women.
got you.
Y'all know how I feel.
It's crazy because you're a woman saying that, but as a man, I automatically be feeling that way. Like, listen, you probably ain't got nobody else you're talking to, and that's why you're trying to
Yeah,
lock me down. But secretly,
yeah,
it's fair game because
yeah,
all it takes is the right man to come your way, and then
yeah.
if you get caught, you'll be like, well, we ain't together yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like when they say have your cake and eat it too. It's
Mhm,
like that. So as soon as I sit there and say, oh, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, we did not make this official yet, and then,
yeah,
like you just said, now it'll be fair game. Is what's gonna come out her mouth. So it's
yeah.
crazy. That's just a woman's way. Men do it too of locking you down, but they know they want to go east, west, north, south, all that. They know they
You
want to
know
go different
what?
avenues, but they try to
But
lock you down because they don't want you to no other man or no other woman to have you.
I wouldn't even say. I mean, yes, I'm picking up what you laying down, but on another end of it, it's not even about locking down. It's just the fact that they don't have nobody else. They don't have nobody else to spend their time with. So if they have time for you, they want all to spend all their time with you. Like, it's not
Right,
really about being committed or nothing. But guess what? If they had other things to do or something else taking their interest, then it would be fair game. Like, it's cool. I'm busy anyway. Like, do what you want to do because I'm busy anyway. But
right.
it's just women be lying. I ain't gonna lie. Women be lying.
So
Yeah.
in relationships, right? Let's just say people have like a traumatic experience in relationships. What is the best way for them to heal
Mm-hmm. And
when they
heal from
when
the
they trying to
last
go
relationship, or
right. So they in a new relationship, but they still
mm-hmm.
haunted by things over here, which is hindering their current relationship. What is the best way they should go about healing,
it's
so it won't cause problems in their relationship?
So it's easy to say don't get into a new relationship until you're healed from the last one. That would be the easy one. But of course, that's not always what it's about, because I do believe that someone new could help you through that. But you have to be open. So what I am going to say is, A, take every individual as a new individual. Too many people, that's why I said in the beginning I do battle of perspectives, because it's not a gender thing. It should never be all women do this, all men do this. Or, and I know you said it a couple of times, but I ain't even stop you on that. But I cannot stand the word red flags. Okay, because that, oh my
You
goodness, because everything is not a red flag. Oh my,
just throw
just
everything out
because
the window.
just because you don't like it, don't make it a red flag. Like, Jesus, stop calling everything a red flag. Like, no, that's not it. You just don't like it. So
Well,
it's
is this something that is overused? Yes. Anything that's redundant, it do get annoying. But a red flag is it's a warning sign. That's all it is. Like
yes,
it's like
it's
pump the brakes. Like,
but from what angle? So here's the thing though. And yes, it's overused, but the reason why I'm throwing everything out, and trust me, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but until we start using them correctly, I'm going to throw them out. Because again, everybody, like I said, majority of the people use the word red flags when it's something that they just don't like. Oh my
yeah.
God, he chewed too loud. It's a red flag. That's not a red
Okay,
flag, bruh.
you're right. You're right. Well,
That's not a
another
red
thing you might as well.
flag.
Another thing you should add to your list is love language. People don't use love languages right. It's only 5 love languages, but people
They make up stuff.
yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
walked right the fuck away because I hated it. And I hate what's your
Yep.
love language? I'll be the first one like this. What's gonna come out their mouth? I heard
Yes.
somebody told me
Mm-hmm.
drawing is my love language. I said
Right.
that's not a love language, motherfucker. Like, but
It's
everybody just they can't be intelligent. I'm like, God bless them.
It's right. It's so funny. I have one follower. She's been following me for years. I mean, I know her personally too, but she bothers me on purpose with the love language thing, and she always tags me on those type of things. She be like, "I know Ken, you're gonna get me for this one, but look at it because stop making up love. It's five, so I always have to
Five.
correct
It's
her
only
because
five.
she'll
Yes.
she'll say something like, oh, tennis shoes is my love language. And I'll be like,
Y-
no, it's
Yeah.
gift giving. It's
Gift
under
giving.
the umbrella. Like, stop it. It is not that. Like, oh, food is my love language. Food is not the love language. Like, come on. Like, it's the fact that he got you food that is acts of service. Like, Jesus, stop making it up. So
Yeah.
you're
Acts of service.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. Everybody, because people lack understanding, and it's funny you said that as your expectation, but I did throw it out as an expectation. But I do preach all the time that if we're going to use all these words, understanding is one that we need to bring back. And if y'all follow me, I'm always talking about understanding, because we need to understand what's going on and understand each other in that manner, right?
Right.
So therefore, we need to understand if we're going to highlight expectations, we need to understand. I mean, not expectations, love languages. We need to understand what it is. If we're going to highlight narcissists, which is another word that bothers me, we need to
Yeah.
understand what a narcissist is as opposed to narcissistic symptoms,
Or
narcissistic traits.
tendencies.
They're
Mm.
different, exactly, right? So look, I don't forgot what your original question was while I was getting
Shit.
on
That's
that.
that was a good question because I don't even remember.
Right, it
Shit.
was good. It was oh man, I'm sorry. You see, we was talking about deviating earlier and I forgot, but it was definitely a good question.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
it'll
I
come
mean.
back.
Right.
Yes,
Uh.
Allison, exactly. Different levels. And again, that's why I said we need to understand that everybody isn't on our level. So, going back to my story on why I was engaged and unengaged, it wasn't because he cheated, I cheated, another man was in my pocket, or none of that. I understood that we were not on the same level and that we might not ever be. And I'm going to tell y'all, my daughter was, so this was 15 years ago. And I would even say to this day, he's still not on the same level that I would have desired him to be. And that is okay. He has moved on. He's with somebody else. It's all great. But guess what? We still would not have worked present day because we are not on the same level. And it's cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people have to understand that. But people would say, because of the kid, I should have stayed with him. I should have worked with him. I should have given him time. Maybe no, we were not growing in the same direction. It just was. I'm not forcing anybody's individuality on them.
Right. Right. So the question I forgot the exact question, but we was talking about something about healing. What's the
Mm,
best
mm,
way?
mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm-hmm.
I,
Yes.
don't
Boom.
choke.
Okay, right. Because it come back. How do you heal in the next relationship when you've had a traumatic experience in the past relationship? That's where we
Right.
were on. And so understand what that person did and that was that person. So you have to touch on what it was and understand again that next person, right, is not the same as in Pete. So many people go into my ex did this to me too. You going down the same path or this and that. Because again, that puts a lot of pressure on the other person to sit up there and say, I am not your ex. You have to be open. You have to be open to a new person, because if you are making the decision to get into a new relationship, you have to make the decision to leave that other relationship alone. Bury it.
Hmm. So before I go to the next question, I want to. Well, this is a question in itself. I guess I can't say that, but you know, do you think somebody should heal fully before moving on?
No. And the reason why I say that is because people underestimate the power of other people's part in their lives. You need other people to help you heal. You need
Mm.
other people to love on you. You need other people to show you something different. So that's tying it into the last question. I'm never going to say don't allow someone else to come in while you're healing, because you don't know how that person can help you heal. They might have more experience, they might have a different level of understanding, they might have a
Right,
different level of way to love and to show you something different. Because if you don't see different, you're always only going to think one way. You're always going to think all men do this, all men are like this, all men can't do this. But then you have to see that other men are not like that, or that this particular man is not like that. And so, no, you don't have to fully heal, but you have to be open. And open is the operative word. You have to be open to allow somebody else in to show you that there's something different.
right.
But you
Now,
go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
But also too, you have to let that last individual be that last individual. If that last individual was trash, understand that that's that individual, and that's not what a man does. You understand what I'm saying? You have to
Right,
understand that person was trash, and what he did, he's going to do that. Or
right.
she, I'm not putting it all on men. Trust me, I'm not, because there's some trash women out there. It might be more trash women than it is trash men. I ain't even gonna hold you. It might be a lot of trash
Nowadays,
women
yeah,
out there.
nowadays, I think so.
Exactly. And so therefore, understand that that's them. That's their
Right.
mindset. That's how it is. It's not everybody else.
Now, do you think it's possible for somebody to truly, fully heal, or do you think they just suppress it?
Both. But again, it depends. So one thing about myself, and I was just speaking to my daughter and someone else about this the other day. A lot of people would think that my life has been golden my entire life, and I have a good life. Like, I have a good childhood and all that, but that doesn't mean that I haven't had some traumatic experience. But what I do as an individual, what I've always done, is I attack my traumatic experiences right then and there. I don't hold on to anything that happened to me when I was 7. I don't hold on to anything that happened to me when I was 13 or when I was
Mm,
16. What happened to me when I was 7, I dealt with it when I was 7. And then whatever happened to me when I was 12, I dealt with it when I was 12 or 13. What happened to me with my daughter's father when I was 25, I dealt with it when I was 25, 26, however long it took. I'm not harboring anything, because what ends up happening is that becomes stack trauma. So now it's stack trauma, and you can't heal everything the same way. You can't heal
right,
a broken heart the same way you heal from somebody bullying you. You can't
right.
heal from grief the same way you heal from a domestic violence situation. You know what I'm saying? So, what happens when you suppress that and you don't deal with it in a moment, and you become an adult or older and everything? Now you're just full of trauma that you have. That's why the word unpacked is around now, because you did, and now you have to unpack everything. Now you got to unpack your abandonment issues. Now you got to unpack your domestic violence issues. Now you got to unpack, and you held all of that in when you could heal everything in the moment. That's why a lot of people have to have the certain tools and
Well,
reflection when it comes to yourself. Go ahead.
well. To that, I'm gonna say this. I don't think anybody could fully heal. I don't. I think
Mm-hmm.
healing is a daily practice, right? I think
Right.
healing is something we do every day. It's like the saying they say, "Once an addict, always an addict," because all it takes is one moment or
Right.
one
Correct.
slight of something to relapse, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
same thing when we talk about emotional intelligence and all this stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
and having emotional resilience is, you know, we can it can be something that triggers us to bring us back down to whatever traumatic experience,
Mm-hmm.
that what. So I don't think we can fully heal. That's what I'm saying. I think it's an everyday practice. We can
It's
continue to try to heal, be
mhm.
in the process of healing, but to be healed, I don't think so.
It's an everyday practice because something is always happening. That's that you
Right.
have to heal from. So that's what I'm saying. So the good operative word that you're using is practice. You have to practice it every day. You have to practice it, but life is going to life. So it's always so that's what I'm saying. You have you go through something at 7, you go through something at 12, you go through something at 16, and so on and so forth. So, but you're not only going to have one traumatic experience at 7 that you have to continue to heal from for the rest of your life. You have to practice healing tools and getting to know yourself and knowing what you can overcome and knowing how you can process certain things so that it doesn't become crashing out when you get to a certain age, so you don't spaz out in your mind, you don't become in a psych ward or things like that. So absolutely, healing is a daily practice, but it's only because you go through so many things in life. But I do believe that you can heal from one you I do believe you can fully heal from one situation.
Hmm.
Now, again,
See,
not
that's
saying
tricky.
all of
It,
them, but I do believe it depends. And I know where you're going with this, but I'm going to let you cook. It depends on the severity and the impact of it, right?
right,
So
right.
I was bullied in the second grade. I was bullied in the second grade. There's no trigger for me from that though. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear when I see that person on Facebook or whatever it is now,
Hmm.
I'm not like, oh my God, no, like Facebook don't bring your picture up as somebody that you should know. Like, no, I'm like, haha, look at your
But
horrible little mind.
exactly. I was just about to say that. I bet you it did something to you mentally. It made you stronger. It made you look at things through a different lens. I guarantee it did that. So, and it's like
That's
you might not look at it the same way. You're not the pain might not be there, but
right.
it's still attached to you, right? That entity is still attached to you. You probably see that person, and you might sit there and say to yourself, "Oh, well, you said I wasn't going to be nothing, but now I'm here. You said I was always going to be at the bottom, but I'm here." So it's still attached to you. So it still bothers you to a certain degree.
I see where you're going with that. I understand, but again, I think that that goes with the severity of it, and that's the other thing. All healing is not a bad word, and healing does not always have to be on a spectrum to always the red. And I think that that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued too. They think that when you say healing, that it has to be from something that just almost broke you down. Like, no, it could be something that you really need to heal from a situation. It could be small and it can be grand as well. For me, my I've had to heal from a best friend situation more severe than I did from a man breaking my heart. You know what I mean? And
Right,
so
right,
that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh my God, like and I think that that's where a lot of people get stuck in their healing process is because they always heighten healing to where they don't think that the little things they need to heal from. They always think it has to be this grand traumatic situation that you've been in. So yes, healing is an everyday process, but every
right,
healing is different. There are many, many, many different styles of healing, many, many different stages of healing. So what you're speaking of, I get it. It's more of a clapback, right? It's more of
right.
a things that make you what didn't break you make you stronger or anything like that. You know what I mean? But there's just also a different type of healing that's just like, oh, okay, I got over that. Next.
Got you. Um, shit. Um, what was I going to ask you before? I don't even remember what I was going to ask before. Yeah, we running almost 2 hours. So I mean,
I was just
anything
thinking
else you
about
want
that. It's always fun when you time be
to?
flying.
Yeah,
See what I mean by time be flying? Now think about it this way, because I always like to bring it up. Now here's the thing. See, if we were in the talking stage, that 2 hours flew by. You see what I mean? And
that,
then we you see where I'm
that's
going with
true.
this?
No, I that's true. I mean, I don't have a problem with like talking stage, but some people do, and it's one of those things where I don't really understand it because you know, when you talk about a relationship and you're in the talking stage. For me, I wanted the people to be like, well, damn, how long is the talking stage? How long are we gonna be? if the vibes is there, if the chemistry is there, you're
Mm-hmm.
clicking on all cylinders while we still locked and
Mm-hmm.
stuck in that situation. So to me, in a word that you hate, it's a red flag because for me, it's like it's something you're not telling me. You want a companion, but you're not ready to commit. Maybe you're incapable of committing, and that's what I get from that.
Okay. Because this is gonna open a whole nother one, but it's just again, it's levels of what the other person is defining, right? Because then here's the other thing: everybody has so many different levels. Now it's the talking stage to the dating stage to now we exclusive to now am I your boyfriend or your girlfriend? So now we got wifey and now we got a situationship and now like everybody want to just blow all this other stuff up. But again, that's to the level of certain people or where they are in life because some people that would think the dating stage would call it a situationship, right? Some people that would say, "Oh, we just effing." But it's just like, hold on. So now we exclusive. Like, nah, we just acting. Like, wait a minute. But we doing all the other things that,
That's why I
again,
said relationships is fucked up. The world's fucked up.
yes.
Situations is fucked up because it doesn't make sense. I just think that we throw all these terms out
Mm-hmm.
there when we're afraid of commitment. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to for
Mm,
me.
I don't.
Because
I hear you. I don't think I want to say afraid. I just feel that so many people, unfortunately, are always think that the next best thing are out there. So I don't think it's so much afraid. It's just that a lot of people don't think that it should stop here because they all. I don't know why somebody always think that it's something better, and they just waiting for something better.
that's fear. The fear of settling for this and thinking that it's something better than it. And that's another
Okay.
thing. That's another thing I can't stand. When people talk about getting in relationships, if you're already thinking that there's something else better, then you're looking to be in a relationship for the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah. A lot of people
Because
do
if you're
that.
getting to know somebody and that chemistry is there, that should be your only reason for wanting to be in that relationship. Not everything's great, but I wonder if it could be greater with somebody else because that's a
Mhm.
disservice to yourself and
Mhm.
everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
let me ask you this: is the dating stage is that relationship? Like, because lately I've been hearing that we're dating, but we're not in a relationship. What the fuck? I thought if you use the word dating or we're dating, then you're in a relationship,
Mhm.
right? Do you see
Well,
it that way or no?
again, it depends. This is okay. This is my keepsake tip right now. I need the two people that are involved in whatever it is to get on the same level of what it is. Because some
Right.
would say, like you was mentioning in the beginning, oh, we're talking, we're talking. But then when you finally go on a date or two dates, because the word date is in the word dating. So
Mhm.
now we're no longer talking because talking is talking, right?
Yeah.
So now that we're out on a date and we have multiple dates, now we're dating. But
Dating.
here's the thing, you can date multiple people because I can go on a date with James on Monday and then have a date with Rodney on Tuesday. I'm dating multiple people. So that doesn't mean that I'm in a relationship with either one of them. We're dating. I'm dating multiple people. Now, when it
Mm.
comes to a relationship, that's when the word exclusive should come to play. That's when
Mm.
people should say, we're in a relationship, we're exclusive. I'm no longer dating you, we're in a relationship. See, people
Mm.
they don't like the levels to everything. They're so worried about titles without
Yeah.
understanding the levels.
No, I got you. It just don't make sense to me. Talking, dating, relationships. I can see somebody saying talking is different from others, but once you leave talking and now you're saying you're dating, to me, in my mind, that's relationship. Somebody said, if a woman sit there and say we're dating, I'm like, oh, you mine. You, it's exclusive. I don't want to hear about you talking to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how
Well,
I see it.
then, so in that case, then that needs to be a discussion on what again on what it means to each other, because everybody thinks that is something different. You feel me? So my definition of dating might not be your definition of dating. Now, if you feel that me saying we're dating now is exclusive, then we need to talk about being exclusive then. You
Mm.
understand? But no, if we're dating, then we're dating. And I'm going to tell you what I see as dating is, and you tell me if you agree or not. And now we need to have another discussion. Because here's the thing, like you said, you around somebody, you like, oh, my girl. And I'm looking at you like, because I just told my homegirl that we was just dating. Like, who are you? Like, you calling me your girl? Because now that's a whole nother discussion. Now I got to retract that, because if we are around that other person again in 2 weeks and I told you I'm not your girl, now what you gonna say to the other person in 2 weeks? Like, oh, remember when I said now this is just Kenya? Like, no, 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 no. Like, no. Because now you look crazy. Because now I feel like I'm not going to go along with this. Because just because you call me your girl, if we go to my family reunion a week after that, and I'm like, oh, yo, this Desmond. This Desmond right here. I'm not gonna be like, this my man, this my
Yeah,
man, like this my man. Like, no, no. So again, it
crazy.
goes back to effective communication. We all need to be on the same level. But I believe that that comes with talking, and I'm not talking about the stage. I'm talking about that open dialogue, that those deep discussions that you guys have had, those, conversations, those late night, early mornings, or whatever it is. You're going to find out how the other person thinks. You're going to find the mindset just in those discussions.
Got you. All right, Kenya. I think we should definitely have like a follow up, and plus, I want to be on yours as
Absolutely.
well. But
Yes.
I'm going to conclude today's episode. I hope everybody got something from it. They enjoyed it. I hope you was entertained. Continue to share, comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's about to be 11:40
Ooh,
almost. So I want everybody to sleep well and wake up and
yes.
have a blessed day. So until next time, have a good one.
Have a good one.